Hey everyone, this is Katrina here for another video, and today we are specifically talking about content and business consulting for the travel industry. So this video is featuring one of our clients. His name is James Carpenter of James Carpenter Travel. So in this virtual meeting that we did, we went over different aspects of Canva, in particular, how to edit reels using existing templates that Canva gives you. It allows you to save some time by using their templates. This client, again, is a travel agent. He's been working with us for a long time. We've had our business for about 5 years now, and I believe he's been one of our first clients, or at least we've been working together for almost the entire 5 years of the business so far at the time of this recording. Overall, his strategy involves mostly consulting. We do some posts for him, but for the most part, he's doing it on his own, and we are educating him on the best things to post. Reels have always been a little bit on the trickier side for him. He's just now learning reels and videos, so we're going through that using Canva because it's a much more user-friendly system and overall is a lot more cost-effective than other things out there. For example, Adobe Cloud Suite is over $100 a month, and Canva is about $20 a month, and it gives you almost all the same features. We actually use Canva almost exclusively for the majority of our editing. Not every single post, but quite a lot of content. I would say at least 75% of it we're doing on Canva. So these are tips and tricks that you can use at home regardless of the industry that you're in. But if you are in travel or travel related industries, you're probably going to get a lot more out of it.
James Carpenter Travel, and this is a one-on-one consulting session where we're talking about general business related things, posting, and today in particular mostly focusing on Canva. Okay, so working on.
Yeah, I was working on. So I had put some words in there, and I don't know what happened to them. I was trying to post. Matter of fact, this is what I had started on, but I couldn't post anything to the page. It wouldn't go. Like right now, that was just some of the stuff I posted. The other stuff kind of I had to erase. But I was trying to put that on the page, and then I got, pretty much like that was it. It wouldn't post on the page.
Right. Okay.
Or whatever.
So the post is not finished. You see all the white areas on there. It's not
right.
It's not a finished post, so you wouldn't want to post that. You might need the premium to schedule. I'm not sure, but at any rate, let's try to finish the edit on it, or to go through the editing process. Because even if you were able to schedule this, I wouldn't with all that white space. I don't think that one is gonna work.
Right.
So how about this? Can you? So we could do one of two things. You can send me this, and I can edit it while you're looking at my screen, or I could guide you through it on your end.
I can send it to. How can I send this to you?
Okay, so you see that arrow button at the top, where it's an arrow going down to a line right next to the crown symbol?
Yes.
Okay, click on that and show me what it says.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so it says, yeah, let it load because it should give you different types of ways to export it. It's preparing your design. So yeah, you remember what I was telling you about Wi-Fi? Unless you're on really decent Wi-Fi, a lot of this stuff is going to take a while to show. And then also we're doing a live screen share. So that's part of it too. Okay, so you're going to say, actually go to messaging, because you could send it to me in a text, I think. Click on Instagram Reel, which is already suggested because I do a lot of reels. So if you were to type in reel, Instagram Reel would be one of the first ones that pop up. You can see here that the correct size is 1080 by 1920 because that's going to give you that vertical post that has, thinner on the width and it's kind of longer, right? And it's Instagram size specifically so that it can fit on both Instagram and Facebook. Instagram has stricter rules with how things fit. So Canva knows that. And when you type in reel, it only gives you the option for Instagram. That being said, that will also go on Facebook. So you just have to understand that if you don't see something, you don't see an option there, you intuitively know that, right? Instagram Reels will still work on Facebook, so you're good. And also you see the size. You could always go in and tell it, make me a post at this size. If you told it, make me a post 1080 by 1920, you're going to get the same size as the Instagram Reel. It's going to be the same thing, right? So there's different ways to search for things, just like on Google or any of these social media platforms. Canva is its own platform. You can search for things and answer questions in different ways. It just comes down to preference and speed, because this needs to be something that's also time efficient, right? I'm just going to use WeTransfer. I could use Dropbox. I could use any system to transfer photos. I just did it in the form of an email because that was quicker for right now. Okay, so now I'm going to click upload. Picture is just a random thing. It's not named because we just kind of are grabbing it and going. But as you can see, here's all the photos that I've used for you recently in your content. Some of these are from Envato, which we've used. It's a separate platform called Envato, right? We pay for the year for it. You don't necessarily need to do that, but this is where we get most of our stock content from. You've seen us go on here and grab stock photos and stock videos for you, and click to the right and go set image as background. Because of the shape, because it's not vertical, this is how it's going to look. It's going to have that white space at the top and it's going to have that white space at the bottom. Do you see that?
Right, I see it.
So here's different things we could do. We could add more photos to it and kind of make it a little bit like a collage, but that's going to take time to do manually. My suggestion would be to go to design and find a design that you like and plug in the photos that you want there, or go in their system and find a stock photo that you like, because they have a plethora of travel content. It's just like seemingly endless, and they have a lot in the free section too. But like I said, it's like $20 for the month, or maybe even less, because any software I have to get a mid to larger plan. Really should be on the large plan for all of them. Some I can, some I can't. But for you, I think it would just be like $120 for the year to get the premium. Start using it more first, right? Because you're not used to it. But when you do, it's like a no-brainer, and you might be able to consider it a tax write-off. I know I can, but I do everything online. I have an online business. Your business is partially online. I mean, it's marketed like that with iBoomerang, work online, you know? So see if your tax person says it's a tax write-off, because if it is, that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
120 for the year. I mean, you can't beat it. You can even design your print materials and everything like we talked about. Okay, so I suggest we put this in a template so that we don't have to deal with this white space and it looks like not as professional. So let's type in Prague and see if anything comes up with Prague. Okay, so nothing's coming up in the design with Prague, maybe because it's a little bit specific. Let's put in Europe. Okay, so exploring Europe. So I could apply all 4 pages. It has all this moving stuff. It's a little bit too girly. We're probably going to move this. But what I do like is the overall vibe of this. I can change this out to stock video from Prague. I could probably find that. And then this woman doing a toast is like, you know, that could work for everything. I don't like the wording, only because it's not your style, but we could easily remove that. And then this song, hear it on your end, because we're doing a live video, but I just want to hear the song.
Okay.
It's a little bit, kind of reminds me a little bit too much of like Hawaii. Like it's like like, kind of sounds like a luau, which is not fitting for me. So I like to go to the audio, and let's just like look up European audio, which I've never done. Let's just see what it comes up with. A lot of like electronica. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Got it. Trying to find something a little bit upbeat, not like too heavy in the bass. So I'm gonna do 25. So it's not like full volume. I'd rather somebody have to increase the volume than be like, oh my god, it's blasting at me, you know? This thing, this blue area is kind of covering it up a little bit, so I'm gonna kind of do this. I like the idea of it having some kind of accent there. It does like a little cool effect. I'm gonna change the colors for sure. Again, remove some of the fluff that we don't need. Focus more on the video. Okay, and this we're gonna remove. Now I can group it all together, remember? I shift and then click together things that I want. Now I'm grouping it together. Now this is one singular element. You saw that? So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to kind of make it a little bit sideways, and I'm going to make it smaller because it's going to be something kind of different here. All right, so I don't actually I liked it better. Right up her glass, and I'm not crazy about that, but we're gonna come back to it. All right.
Okay.
So, and then you see there's also transitions here. It came up because it's a template. It came up with the transition. This is what it's gonna do. It's gonna do it go up, oh, and it goes up. I don't have a preference when it comes to transitions. It really just depends on the post. I think that one works. So, but if you wanted to change the transition, you could go here, 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 change whatever. Let's say you wanted to change it to dissolve, you could go to apply between all pages, and now it's changed it in between all pages. But you don't want to do something that looks like this. It has more rigid lines, slight roundness to it, and it's kind of more naturally bold and easier to see, whether it's bigger or smaller. These two are kind of alike. But you see how something like this is completely different and looks like a kid wrote it with a crayon, right? It's a weird kind of font. This one is cursive, which a lot of people don't really understand. But it's not. But besides that, it's not. It's completely different than your style. And this one has the thin lettering. It's almost like a typewriter, but a little bit more futuristic. See the differences? But something like Open Sans, even though it's thin, it just kind of plain works everywhere with something that's a little bit more bold. So maybe you could use that, maybe even the pop-ins, although I think Open Sans would make a little bit more sense. So we're going to change these colors too, by the way. Besides the, let's change it to that one. Obviously, it's going to be significantly smaller. I'm highlighting it. I'm going to League Spartan to change. This is purple. You don't have anything to do with purple in your color scheme.
Okay,
So here's what we could do. I already have your logo uploaded here. You definitely need to have your logo uploaded and do your brand kit because it's going to help you. In particular, it takes a while before you just remember everyone's fonts and their specific color numbers like I do, but it's like I do that for a living, so I do that, so I know how to do it, and the system just like reminds me. But it doesn't have the pop of color that we want. We want this. We want a pop of color that's similar to this, but this is not going to work here properly because then it's covering up that thing there. Same thing with this. This, we could probably get away with doing that. kind of sneaks it in there. And here's what we could do too. We could do a new, different color here. So I go to that part, it's dark purple. Now you see it's showing my most recent photos. I can make it yellow like this or blue, like the idea of making it blue and color matching it to that one. Much better color. Now I could go here, I could do yellow motif. Okay, so now what we need to do, does that make sense what I did? I just dragged in these elements.
Okay, so you put that down at the bottom? Put it down at the bottom.
Oh, in the notes you mean?
No, I was talking about the logo. You put it down at the bottom
so
of the picture.
Right, so I could have used this one with this version, right? So I'm mixing and matching the different colors, but I could do that, or I could even take a text and do James Carpenter travel and just put an @ tag, change the font to what I want it to be. And let's say if they have any Prague videos here. So how do you spell Prague? U-G. I'm probably spelling it wrong. Yep.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you, software. All right. So these are all videos from Prague. I went to the video section and it's giving me actual B-roll from Prague. Like, there's so much stuff here, from historical stuff to the nightlife stuff and in sound. So we clicked on it, right? And we did shut off the music or sound because we have music in the background that we put there, right? So here's the thing here, or I kind of like this better. Make sure to take off the sound because it's got a little bit of a bluer tint to it. So I could go crop, and I can also move this around so I get more of the buildings in there. I can go about, you can do a little bit more, a little bit less, but not much. It's pretty much how it goes. This one of the cathedral is really cool, but it's a long one, so we're gonna have to cut it down. Replace background, I already took out the music, so it's not letting me do that properly. Okay, so I had to drag it in because it's a template, and if I did replace background, then it would go to the back, which is why it was doing that. Okay, again, volume is down. Fine. Then we kind of oversee the city. I don't want much more than 5 seconds here. These are not supposed to be long. This is probably still too long. All right. And then we're going to look at more B-roll. That's what stock video is also called. It's called B-roll. And we're going to see something kind of different. That's kind of different. Or we could do a statue like this. Might be too long, we'll have to see. And then we'll look for the nightlife stuff, which I just saw. People walking fast, nightlife. It's obviously a time-lapse thing. All right. And then we're gonna do 6 seconds. All right, so without listening or seeing or having the sound, we're gonna go through it and you'll just see what it looks like. News, sometimes like a drone video.
Wow.
Okay.
So that just popped up like that? The people walking through the city?
It's a time lapse, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna go to video or elements. We're gonna see if we have any elements that look like Prague. Let's go to graphics. Okay. So we can add in some elements that show off Prague instead of show off the flag or the skyline or something without having to type in the words Prague, right? We could do that. and have the text on the screen, make it white with a blue outline or a black outline. What if we make it, when we go to the color section, this is the actual color. This is the number and letter. So we're gonna slightly make it darker. And I think that works. And we're gonna click on this and go, excuse me, and go to more. This is an element on top of this particular slide. We're gonna go to show timing. We want it to pop up, but not solid black, right? And then we want to do the blue, but let's do slightly darker. See how that looks. Slightly lighter. See how that looks. What if we just do white for this one? Might be easier to read. I don't think it's actually easier to read, period, unless we go like that and put it down there, which I think it takes away from, actually did not have an animation, so we're going to click on it and we're going to do breathe, because it's just a regular thing that goes in. All right. Here's a statue. It's like a religious thing. So maybe we can add something like this on it, indicating a church. But instead, we make it the same kind of color as the other one, where it's got the nightlight. So I think we should put the skyline symbol on top. We should make it white so we can see it. And then we're going to go to animate. We're going to breathe so it comes in and out. We're going to show timing. We don't want it to be quite the whole length. Same thing with this. We want it to be a small amount of the length. Okay. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of length here, and then this thing needs to go to the end, so it looks a little bit more seamless. And we're done. This is a post. It's a fully functional.
You click. I guess you're familiar with everything, where everything is at too.
You really need to use the templates, because all you have to do is get that to do most of the work for you. See, there's 3 about Europe right here that you could be using.
I see those.
So I'm going to download them. I'm going to click download. I'm going to do it as an MP4 in 1080p. Then I'm going to click download. Okay. So when it's done downloading, I'm going to send this to you. And next time we could go through how we did it again. We can make another one. We could have you go through it, whatever you want to do. But regardless of what you edit, use a template and work from there. And it might be easier for you to do that with photo posts first and make like a collage, something where you basically just have to drag photos in or just change the photos and add your logo, like something that is that simple for right now. It might make sense. You could always use photo posts for anything too, you know, like videos and reels. Yes, they tend to grab more attention, but photo posts are still a live screen share. I always wait until it fully downloads. I don't go to another screen. That's another thing to keep in mind. You want to stay in the same screen and just let it load to conclusion. You don't want to get in your car and go to somewhere else or change the Wi-Fi or anything. Once you're in the download process, you have to hunker down and just wait for it to be done. That's just something to keep in mind. Cool. And if this was a video, like a regular video, one that has the wider shape, you could even download that. But eventually it's a similar concept with the video. There's just a little bit more that you have to add to them because they tend to be longer. This being 23 seconds is considered a very, very long reel. For a video, that would still be kind of small or not.
And that concludes this virtual meeting that we did with James Carpenter Travel. If you want to follow him or learn more about him, check out the link in the comments section. Again, his name is James Carpenter Travel. Okay, so if you want to see more live demonstrations of business consulting meetings, or just in general, more things that we work on related to consulting or any other topics, write in the comments and let us know what you want us to do a deep dive on. Please hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you get notified about our posts. This is going to be super helpful to you, especially if you own a small business. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you continue to get notified about when we post. And if you need help with your own marketing or you need somebody to coach you through it, give us a call at 407-334-9378. Again, that phone number is 407-334-9378. And if you want to become a YouTube sponsor so that you can get placement on our channel, kind of like James Carpenter Travel just did, you will have access instantly to over 500,000 people a year who are actively participating in our content on YouTube. So that phone number to reach out about that is also the same, which is 407-334-9378. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next one.